Yeah, welcome to another section of Kings Don't Make Mistakes. The first thing I want to tell us this in this section is that it's very important to open your mind to statements, sometimes not to take it literally. Even though kings don't make mistakes, kings are human and human makes mistakes. So kings don't make mistakes, even though kings make mistakes. Okay, now it's also very important for the husbands or for the men to begin to say, yes, guy, fire on. Yes, talk to these women. Actually, let's not miss the point. We're talking about poor communication that leads to conflict in relationship, in marriage relationship, or any other relationship. But the main focus is the marriage relationship. This morning, I want to talk about the influence and the affluence of the king. Even the king don't make mistakes. It's very important for kings to know who they are. The first thing I want us to know is that there is the king as an office and the king as a nature. A king can occupy an office but does not have the nature of kingship inside of him, because kingship is also a nature and it's also an office. Sometimes you find men, husbands, who have affluence, they have money, they have all the things of life, they have charisma, they look handsome, they are everything that a woman wants. They occupy the office as kings. They have everything that can show that this is a king, but they lack character. They lack the nature of a king. That's a problem. That's actually a problem, but that's not the guarantee that the woman should miss it. Let me give you one example in the Bible. One of the characters that I so much admire in the Bible is Delilah. She is a queen that understands that kings don't make mistakes. I know it's difficult for church people to agree with Delilah, but Delilah is one character in the Bible that knows how to honor a king, that knows how to communicate to a king. If you look at Delilah, you will realize that the king comes home dejected because of something that he couldn't achieve. And then Delilah was able to read his countenance, try to appease him. Now, as a result, Delilah was able to influence a king because she is submissive to a king. That is the truth. Church women may not like Delilah. We may not even like the name Delilah. That's why that name is not popular. But I know that in the negative energy, but I'm trying to look at Delilah in the positive energy. She understand, she understood her king, and then she did what will pacify the king. You know, instead of the man coming home one day and is tired and is dejected, she respects a king and she ensures that she does what she needs to do. But you see, this morning, I want to ask you a question, kings. Are you a king by nature and also by operating as a king as an office? A lot of men who operate as kings as an office, they just demand submission, demand respect, but they don't have the character of kings. And we will be talking about character of kings because I will stop here. But I want you to think as kings, do you have the nature of a king and also occupy an office? See you next time.